You know, I love it so much. I got to. I know. Y'all have to pray for me. You know who it is. It's your girls. It's One-ish on a Monday. It's Dream Do Done, your accountability podcast. We are here once again, the final Monday in the month of August 31st. I don't even understand how at the end of August, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around how this month has come to an end already. But we're here and a lot to be grateful for because there's so much going on. But let me introduce my co-host. Let's just start with our greetings. I have the Pulpit chick herself, Serena Brown-Travis, the how-to coach Tamara Hartley, and myself, Dr. Stacie, Grant, Chief Faithpreneur. But I'm going to let my sisters greet you before I start my little ramble.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure as always to be here with you today. I had a wonderful weekend. Of course, we were all saddened by a loss that we experienced in the acting world. But nonetheless, we're so grateful for life, health, and strength. And so I wish you all a happy Monday, and I can't wait to dive into today's topic.
Same here. I had an awesome week, an awesome weekend. My son played in his first game this weekend. It was televised on ESPN, so it was just a big thing in our household. So that happened too. But Stacie, I'm just thinking about what you just said. So you said this is the last Monday in August. Now I remember when we were talking about new beginnings in August, and now we're talking about the last Monday.
Right.
Like, goodness gracious, time is really flying. And if you think about it, we started this quote unquote COVID journey. Most of us went home in like March. You know, if you were working and you went home, we went through the summer and we are hitting the fall. That's just boggling my mind right now. I'm just thinking about that. Time is really moving swiftly. Absolutely. Right. But hey, everyone.
Yeah, look, but before you blink, we'll be talking about mistletoe and turkeys and all that. Like,
yeah, we were in the store yesterday looking for some off because we were going to a jazz in someone's backyard. And there was all this candy. And my husband was like, what's all this candy for? I'm like, Halloween, crazy. You know, they start selling this stuff. Halloween candy is out.
Wow. That is
although no one is going trick-or-treating, but Halloween candy is out.
No, the Rona is rolling. First of all, I don't even celebrate that holiday, but yeah, y'all might want to stay home for this Halloween. But let's rewind and come again. Your son was on ESPN.
Yes.
I know.
Yes, they televised the game on ESPN. And though my son's team actually lost, he had some amazing plays. And they kept saying his name over and over. And there was a point when they came back from commercial where they just sat on him. Now, my daughter lives in Florida. My people are all over. Everyone was sending screenshots and videos. And they kept saying his name even when he wasn't on the field. I said, that's a sign from the Almighty.
Yeah, straight to the NFL.
He had 3 amazing plays, though. That was really, really good. So it was nice captioning it that way. But yes, they kept saying his name when he was on the sidelines resting.
Oh, I love it. Well, look, Auntie Stacie has got to come to a game, honey. Can't nobody turn up like me. I'm a real football mom.
Yes, his sister was like, I could get used to seeing him on television. I said, I guess all of us can, because they kept saying Carl Allen II.
Oh my goodness. So we got to give him a round of applause.
Yes. Absolutely.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, Stacie and her sound effects. Y'all cannot stop her.
Listen, she couldn't wait. I knew it was coming.
It was the perfect reason. We had to celebrate our superstar. But that is exciting, though. Just playing under the lights for young kids when they're in the Pee Wee leagues or in high school, but to be on ESPN, like that's a dream.
Yeah, but listen, are you surprised? We're talking Tamara Hartley stuff, so I'm not really surprised. In fact,
you are so funny.
I can say what took so long. You know what I mean? Like anything Tamara Hartley touches automatically turns to gold.
Now, there is a running joke about all my kids here in Columbus. They're like, the children of a life coach, because my kids are always talking about dreams and goals. And so that's funny that you would say that.
Yeah, I mean, as proud as I Carl II. It's kind of like, yeah. And then of course they kept saying his name. Like, what do you mean?
Of course. I love it. I love it. Next time you have to text me so that I can get everybody on watching.
I will. Thank you.
I love that we can celebrate something happy because, you know, we've had a lot of sadness. And, you know, talking about football, my condolences continue to go out to my dear sisters, the twin powers, Dr. Cherie Cofield and Dr. Cheryl Wood, who Cherie lost her son, who was a 20-year-old football player at Morgan State University and a motorcycle accident. So his services were the same day that I had two funerals, which was on Friday. We lost our nephew and we lost our brother, my husband's partner. So it's been a lot of loss. And I found out about Chadwick Boseman while we were all just kind of sitting and processing the services for Ozzy. I hear one of our nephews scream like, "Oh my gosh." And I'm like, "What? Like, you just coming from a service?" I'm like, "What now?" He was like, "Chat." He could even get the words out because our kids are traumatized. This is the first time when they saw Black Panther that they saw images of themselves as real superheroes, you know, Wakanda forever, that whole feeling. And being King T'Challa meant so much more than just an image on screen. So, I mean, the kids in the house were like bonkers.
Yeah.
Sitting around
then, I mean, you know, playing all the different roles that he played. 42, that was one of my son's favorite movies. So that was the first time he really got exposed to Jackie Robinson and all those different things. So that was just like, yeah, for them, it really hit home. It was one of those things that even the younger people are like, oh my goodness. You know, it's usually the parents like, oh my goodness, but no, they're like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just rough, you know, and it's two things with celebrating life. You know, we're going to talk about some of the ways that we want you to take action. Like, this is it for the third quarter. Like, you need to be focused. We have our Dream Do Done journal. So many people were like, we want to get it. We want to get it. I think we had too many people flooding the system. So some of you didn't get to make your order. But now if you go to dreamdodone.com, you can get your journal and go ahead and order it. We're so excited because that's a part of what my Faithpreneurs will be utilizing in our fourth quarter focus, and just really celebrating life. Every day is a gift. And in celebrating life with Chadwick, he knew he had cancer, but it didn't stop him. And, you know, I just admire the fact that he didn't let that leak to the press. So that he didn't want everybody feeling sorry for him. He was dealing with what he was dealing with. And he is a man of faith. He went to church and grew up in a church right here in Brooklyn, New York. My girlfriend, one of my makeup artists, grew up with him there. Like, the church is so proud of what he was doing, his career. They always kept him covered. He never forgot home. He was always coming back to his church home when his schedule allowed. So I know his faith was something that people might not have been aware of, but he was willing to accept God's will, whatever that was. But he wasn't going to let cancer beat him. So he continued to work. He continued to perform. And there was a recent video where you could tell something was wrong. You could tell that he was ill. And people had a lot of mean things to say. I hope they're really feeling bad right about now because they really didn't know what was going on. But he was still using his voice. As weak as it was at that moment, as weak as his body felt, he never stopped being the leader and the example that he was. So that's something for not only his fans to cherish, but his family. You know, when someone of note and notoriety passes away, the whole family has to share their grief publicly and listen to what people are saying and their responses. And on behalf of Dream Do Done, we just want the family to know that we're covering you and his extended family, his church family in Brooklyn, and
family.
And his what family?
HU family.
And his HU
University.
Because everybody at HU is like, you know, we lost a hero. We lost one of our best. And shout out to all HBCUs, right? Because he was an example of what happens when you take care and train and educate your own. So Chadwick's memory, and I think what broke me down, my girlfriend posted a video with Chadwick and Denzel. And when he spoke and gave him, like, Goldcast did a clip about how he said there would be no Black Panther if there wasn't a Denzel. And Denzel actually had written a scholarship for him while he was in school. They never had a chance to meet. And that night at the awards ceremony, they had a chance to connect, and he publicly could thank Denzel for what he did to pave the way for other actors like him. And that was just a powerful moment for them to replay, and why video and photography is so important, because it outlives you.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
it outlives those opportunities to pay tribute to mentors, pay tribute to people who paved the way. So we dedicate today's show to Chadwick and all those who have transitioned in this last month of August. You know we've been experiencing trauma since the 9 lives we lost at the top of the year on that helicopter. And it has not stopped with COVID-19, with other. I'm still in shock, and I'm still tender with the losses that I've endured in this past week. But the circle of life is real, and we have to honor what God gives us every single day. We cannot take it for granted. And just to see how he pushed through, it reminds me of my Faithpreneur, Winnie Birch. She had colon cancer as well. And she outlived what the doctors said for 4 years. It was going on 4 years, and she didn't stop living. And she was willing to accept whatever God's will was. Her prayer: God, if you carry me home, it's to my glory. You raise me from the bed, it's to your glory. And whatever way you do it, Daddy, I'm fine with it. That's a strong faith, to be able to get to that point where you just truly release and know that this is temporal and you have another life. But not everybody believes that. And clearly Chadwick knew the Lord, and he knew that he was in God's hands. And I just pray that people start to find out more about who he was, even behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So,
And and one of the things that you said that really struck me is that he worked. He continued. Sometimes, even in our personal lives, all the things you're dealing with, all the funerals and services you attended, life still does go on, and we still have to carry on with our businesses, with our families, with our lives. And so even in the midst of personal tragedy, we're still in this thing, and we're still going. Even in all this pandemic, all the pandemics stuff that's going on, you still have to dream, do, done. You still have to get things done. And so that just really struck me, because sometimes it seems so, like someone's talking some food, but you got to keep going. But it's the truth. Tomorrow's not promised for any of us. And so it's really important that you take the now to do the things that you're here to do. Your purpose needs to be fulfilled while you're here now. And that's another reason why we're here at One-ish every Monday, because we believe that thing. And even doing Stacie's private stuff, the things that she goes through, she did Faithpreneur 2020. She's still doing stuff. She's still producing. We're still producing content. We're still doing our journal. You have to keep going. Get started, and you have to keep going. Have to.
absolutely, because I don't even know how to implore everybody. Please do what God gave you to do. Tomorrow is not promised, right? It's just not promised. It's a gift. I keep saying life is a gift, and how you unwrap it is your tribute back to God to say thank you. And I'm just going to share something in memory of our dear brother Ozzy, Oswald Ozzy R. Charles Jr., that we just laid to rest this past Friday. And he did something that has changed my life. I was very ignorant towards organ donorship. So I'm going to tell on myself. Y'all know I tell on myself. I was like, I'm not donating nothing. Whatever I die with, I'm going with. They ain't cutting me up again when I'm leaving here. It's a wrap.
Or taking me out sooner than I need to, because I'm a giver.
Exactly. I was like, I don't know about all that. And he had registered with liveonnewyork.org, which is an organization for those who make that brave decision to be organ donors. And when I tell you, Serena and Tamara, one of the partners, because my husband is four of them, they all work together in Flash City Media. And what happened was they connected with Live On New York for the organ donorship, etc. And they did a walk of honor. And in this walk of honor, in his final moments of life, as he was transitioning, as he was dying, he gave the gift of life. And Eric was able to capture that and film in the confines of the HIPAA law, be able to film the walk. They call it a walk of honor in his hospital gurney, as his wife is walking next to him, playing the song Remember Me. There was no dry eye in the house. The entire hospital staff stopped what they were doing, lined the hallways as they brought him through. And as they brought him through, you saw him turning the corner. And as he was turning the corner, that's where the surgery was going to take place for his 2 kidneys and his liver to be transferred to give somebody else life. And it just so happened that they were able to coordinate that the person who received his organs is his best friend's family member.
Oh, wow.
So it was amazing to me to watch that. I didn't even know they did that. I figured if you did organ donorship, they take it, they save a life. But the way this particular hospital set it up, that they do a walk of honor, that in your last moments, you're still able to give the greatest gift of life. I mean, how amazing is that? So it changed my perspective. I know this is not our typical topic or a dream do done, but I think it's important to talk about celebrating life. We'd be tone deaf if we didn't talk about how trauma and tragedy is happening so quickly and so publicly with the things that we're seeing. Not to mention, we're dealing with more police excessive force and brutality cases that are re-traumatizing us each and every day. But as you celebrate life, to think that you could be an organ donor and you could give the gift of life in your final act. They gave him a plaque. They gave him a medal that we put in the casket. I was able to read the proclamation because I actually officiated the services. That was it was life-changing for me. I'm registering with liveonnewyork.org just because of that. I've removed my ignorant thinking, and I want to be able to give that gift. And God bless the organizations that do things like this, that your life can still mean so much even in death. And I thought that was just powerful.
And just think, a lot of times when you see this, you automatically think about, helping someone that you don't know. Just imagine the fact that you helped someone that had less than 6 degrees of separation from you. That is so touching. That is really touching, but there are no coincidences, and that's really divine. You know what I mean? And so just thinking about that, it's like, wow, okay.
Exactly.
That's something for all of us to think about doing.
And it was just a lot. I know Serena's on the road. I'm going to unmute her. So here's a transparent moment. This is live TV. Y'all almost about to hear me scream at my sons who are doing music sessions in the middle of my show. And if y'all are hearing a heavy beat, I'm going to have to mute to holler real quick. Like, don't y'all know it's Chic you done? Like, what are you doing? But Serena, I know you had a word. Let me let you get in right now.
Yeah. Well, listen, I want to be entertained by hearing you parent your children at this point.
And Serena, do not look at us. You keep driving and just talk to us, please.
Exactly. Don't look down at the camera.
I know. Well, I heard that I was having some feedback, so I moved my spot, and then there was a construction. I'm like, okay, Lord, let's just go ahead and drive it home. But what I was going to add to the conversation about the organ donorship. So I am an organ donor, and of course, I've heard all of the reasons why you should not be one. But what touched me was, well, first of all, some of our organs can only work for people of color. And that part I did not know. So unfortunately, I remember my father's best friend, Uncle Boo, if you all have ever heard him speak of his friend, Alexander Boo Williams.
Yes.
He did not get a proper kidney because at that time, organ donorship was not popular at all. And so as a result of that, it gave me hope to know that even if I go ahead and pass over, that I can give life to 7 other people. And I thought that it's well worth it. It's almost like, now we speak life into people, we're verbal with our words, but if my heart can help someone else live, if my kidneys can help flush out toxins out of someone else's body, it is well worth it. So Stacie, I am so proud. I did not know you were not an organ donor, but I'm so proud to know that your perspective has changed, because this is what we do. We give life. This is our profession that we're in. We speak life, and so why not let God use every part of us as being a vessel to make sure that we can be the giver of life, quote unquote, that we can help someone's life enhance. And so That is absolutely. I'm proud of you. I've always been an organ donor. Now, don't take it before I'm ready to go. You still gotta give me a shot. You gotta give me a shot to come back. But if not,
I think
but it's beautiful how you just even put that too, though. You know, because we are givers. We're giver of motivation, inspiration, encouragement. We do that all day long. But let's also give life in this way too. That was just beautiful.
Absolutely. And I think I contemplated checking it off at one time behind my license, and I was like, And shout out to Captain Brown. She says she's an organ donor. Awesome. Renee says she's an organ donor. It's the most wonderful gift. Okay. Well, y'all have convinced me. Like, I can tell the truth. Like, I was not at all open to having myself cut up. And I think that was a little bit of vanity. So God has worked on it. I was like, how you gonna cut me up? What do I look like? But I'm glad to know that so many of you are organ donors. And I'm just going to put the site up that I'm referring to, because I'm going to go on and register. This is the one here where I live. And they gave everyone pins to wear at the funeral. I realized I told them to give it out, and I didn't save one for myself or his widow. So we have to order some more for it. But, it's an opportunity to give life and to meet the recipients. I mean, it really is a blessing. So that's the first part. Now, as we transition our conversation into the fact that this is the last Monday in the month of August, this is the next month being the last month in the third quarter, there is work to do. This is not time to play. This is time for us to really be focused, because in this season, there is a lot of transition, shifting, and trauma all happening at the same time. And it's the people who stay focused on the things that they can control, the people who focus on adding value, the people who focus on becoming a better version of who they are will be the ones who will thrive post what we're experiencing and what we're living through. So that requires a certain amount of action. As your accountability coaches here on this podcast every month, yes, we entertain you. Yes, I know you laugh at us. I hope you do pray for us too, because we need that. But we need you to take action, right? We need you to understand how important it is. Ludree said that she's not an organ donor, but because of what I brought up on our Faithpreneur VIP prayer call, she's looking into it. Girl, Ludree, we'll look into it together, because I was not open to it, but it's something that definitely has changed my mind. So now that we're at the end of August, all the way at the end, exactly, Nadira said, this is Captain Brown. She does our challenges for my SEQ moves. Okay. Every Tuesday that she's starting out. She's just retired from the Army. So we continue to thank her for her service and appreciate, what she has done. But I want you to talk a little bit, Tamara, about getting to the fact that we are at the end of August and it's time for some accountability.
Absolutely. So when you talk about planning, now is the time for you to start planning, even for what you're going to do in 2021. And we really believe that this journal is a good tool to not only help you to take action, but to begin to track your progress. Because when you begin tracking your progress, you can really make adjustments and know what you need to change, know what's working, know what's not. So now is just an excellent time to go ahead and get your journal and start really taking that action and tracking yourself. And a lot of times they say, what doesn't get measured, what doesn't get tracked, you kind of let it fall by the wayside. As your accountability partners, we've came up with a tool to help you stay accountable, even when you're not joining us Monday at 1-ish. So this is just another layer of what we're trying to do with you, in addition to getting into one of our accountability groups. So this is your time. Go to dreamdodone.com, get your book today, get your journal today, but then also look at the other classes and the other offerings that we have, because now is the time to start planning for 2021. Not that we know what the next step is all the time, but now once you start taking action, it'll be better for you. You'll get some stuff actually done. We hope you get some stuff done in 2020, but we really want to make sure that you get what you want to get done in 2021 as well. Now is just the time for us to start, all of us, to start planning for that. All of us, even on Dream Do Done, we're working on 2021 already.
Absolutely. And it's about holding each other accountable for our success. Nothing happens overnight. So all the people who are misguided out there that think like, woo, It's going to be overnight success. I'm going to throw up a YouTube channel. I'm a YouTube famous. I'm going to publish a book and it's going to be a bestseller and I'll never have to work again. You know, I'm going to give my first speech and Barack Obama is going to hire me. Look, there is work that needs to be done and there's steps to it. Serena, stop laughing and driving. You
but even with that, Stacie, even if you do become a successful blogger or whatever it is you're trying to do, by tracking it and knowing how to tweak it and make your changes, that's really how you're going to move forward even quicker. And that's what this journal will do for you, help you move forward even quicker.
Absolutely. Because it's not saying, we're not saying that you're not going to succeed. If you do enough work, everybody knows my formula. Consistent action over an extended period of time equals maximum results. It's just it. It's a universal law. You do nothing, you get nothing. But if you do it, you'll get there. But that's why our show, our tagline is from process to progress, because there has to be a process. There's no skipping over what that process looks like for you. So we want to be here to support you on that journey, as Tamara said. So we have the masterclass opportunity and the journal. The journal, I'm just so excited about the journal. I'm so excited about the journal. So we're going to be able to walk through with you and really drill down into what we want to accomplish in the fourth quarter. For Faithpreneur, our new year begins in August with Faithpreneur Weekend. So we have work that we're going to be doing, and the journal is going to be a way to support that for those of you who have participated. So let's see, we have some additional comments out here. Captain Brown, yes, we're dealing with the fact that we're moving to the end of this month. Your pleasure to serve. And then she's also talking about, you did tell Michelle Obama, I love it. So Renee, I'm glad that your friend, wow, she said that her friend was a match 13 people that he was able to help. So we're talking about a lot in this broadcast, celebrating life. The real way you celebrate life is by living it and taking action. We're here to hold you accountable to that action. And we know that you are going to do the additional work that is required for the results that you seek. Everybody doesn't have the same thing on their agenda for 2020. Some people are like, oh, let's just throw 2020 out. We need a reset. We need to fast forward to 2021. Hold on now, because I don't know what else is coming with 2020. So let's just take it one day at a time and prepare for 2021, because we don't know what the future has to hold, but what we can do is prepare by how we live each day. So Serena, you want to give us your closing thoughts before we wrap up today's broadcast?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna play out when I'm ready.
Death of Chadwick certainly has brought things into perspective. And what I admire most, and I'll be quick, apparently I must have background noise. What I admire most is that he still finished hard. And I remember when I used to work out with the trainer, he would say, finish strong, finish strong, finish strong. And so that's my take. What's happening, pandemic or not.
Absolutely. Finish strong.
Yeah.
All right. And Tamara, over to you.
So, of course, again, I'm going to reiterate what I was most taken with today is that despite what's going on in your personal life, whether it's health challenges, financial challenges, the pandemic, any challenge that you have or obstacle you are facing, to keep going and doing your work every single day. Continue taking that action, because you never know when that last day will be. But the thing is, you're here for a purpose. So keep living that purpose no matter what. I think that's what really helps people get through those challenges and get over obstacles and really just continue to enjoy all the time that we have here.
Absolutely. Well, both of you said it. Dream, do, done, right? That is the whole purpose of our show, is to encourage you to not just dream, because that's important. Some people have actually forgotten how to dream. Some people have been beaten down so hard with life that they don't think it's possible anymore. They think they're either too old, they're too young, it's the wrong time, there's no money, and they stop dreaming. But at least you're in a position where you're open to dreaming. And we want to move you from just dreaming to actually doing, so that you can get it done and that we can celebrate it. And every time you finish one thing, then you move on to the next. Every time you establish one goal and you accomplish it, you move on to the next. So there's a continued progression on your goals and your dreams. So We thank you for showing up and being here. Nadira, Tracy, Ladrine, Renee. Who else is here? Patricia. We appreciate all of you that are tuning in on all of our various platforms, and we thank you for being a part of our community. And we look forward to starting out the first Monday in September with all of you for our next episode of Dream Do Done. Always one-ish.
One-ish.
Every Monday afternoon. Bye-bye, everyone.